All right, so the next thing I want to get into is the different ways of talking about a new cause. There's lots of different sales letters I've used and got either swiped or gotten ideas from. And when you're creating a cause, the example I gave earlier was there's a simple way of doing it where you show one cause of one problem, where you have this acid blood causing this arterial plaque. But there are other ways of doing it. You can have multiple causes for the one problem, or you can have a constellation of different factors that all come together and cause this one problem. So I can say there's 3 causes of arterial plaque. It's 1, 2, and 3. That's the discovery. That's why it hasn't been solved in all this period, in all this time. It's because people were looking too narrowly at one magic bullet. But the fact is that there's actually 3 things you need to have in combination. Okay, so that's an example of using multiple causes to explain an old problem. You can also use a constellation of things. It's like we can talk about lifestyle and stress and all these different things of the everyday life, and then you can have these magic ingredients within that cluster that are the newly discovered causes of this arterial plaque. And then you go through. When you explain it or you use different believability elements, you can do a search in the Cult of Copy for the believability checklist. I put a post in there. You can use any of those techniques to create believability of this new cause or causes. And then, just make sure you name it. And then once you do that, now it's the person's idea. They're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That I can really believe this because, I have arterial plaque and I've been healthy and I've been doing all these things and I still have it. And we're the most advanced technologically advanced society to date, and we have more technology and science than ever before, yet more people are dying and having bypass surgery than ever before. So it must be true that there's other causes. All right? So that's that first implantation of that idea that there's a separate cause. And now it's their idea. We've implanted it. It's not the idea of the person developing the product. I actually like to remove that person completely. Joe Sugarman talked about it in his book. He says that you don't want to sell a product, you want to sell a concept. So I'm just working fully on the level of the concept. I want to sell the concept, and I actually like taking the person out of the equation completely. Now let's move into the next idea that you're going to implant. Okay, so the next thing here is a new mechanism. Okay, that's this rectangle here. So if there's a new cause of an old problem, like arterial plaque, for example, then we can have a new mechanism that was developed to address that new cause that was discovered. It's this lock and key thing, This is used quite a bit. And Eugene Schwartz talks about this. I mean, anyone who's read my posts knows that I'm like a huge student of Eugene Schwartz, and he talks about using a new mechanism in a crowded market when the benefits are just out of control. Like there's so many benefits being promoted and they're pushed beyond any sense of believability. The audience doesn't even listen to the benefits anymore. So what the next thing is, they look for a new mechanism. So here, I create this new mechanism. It's like, well, here's the new mechanism. It's like, I don't know what it is. Depends on the product. I'll find something in there like, oh, there's this new miracle nutrient, and this miracle nutrient has proven to, raise the pH level of your blood faster than anything else, and it has no side effects. Or there are these foods that you can eat, and by eating these foods, it raises the pH level of your blood, therefore making it less acidic, and therefore the body doesn't have to create this arterial plaque to defend itself against this acid blood. You see what I mean? So there's that new mechanism, and you'll find this. Find high converting CPA offers, high converting sales letters, sales videos. You'll find a new mechanism in there. Especially one thing that came to my mind, I'm not limiting it to this or anything, but go look at the hottest selling relationship and dating products, especially dating products for the male customer. You'll see this thing in there all the time. All right, so there's the mechanism. So you introduce a new mechanism, and then the next thing is obviously believability. So you want to show, make it believable that this mechanism works, that it's it's something. Not only is it a new thing, it's actually working and it's producing a fantastic track record. So you do the believability thing. And lastly, of course, you name it. Another idea that came to my mind just now, a memory of an example, is the Dyson vacuum cleaner. It's like they have this great concept of like, it never loses its suction. So there's an old problem. It costs a lot of money to replace your bags, the vacuum bags, and you're vacuuming and the suction goes away. So vacuum cleaner Dyson comes out. It's like, well, it never loses suction. How does it do it? Well, we got this new mechanism. It's called cyclone technology. Right? I don't even know how it uses it, how it works. I don't think anyone knows how it works. But they show it. They show this little diagram of these little cyclones in there. And they name it cyclone technology. So once you name the new mechanism, okay, now the reader has the second idea implanted in their consciousness. So they have a second concept, okay? So, and it's their concept. If you've done a good job of introducing it, you did it with entertainment value, with a lot of drama. If you, in the believability section of introducing your new mechanism, if you told the story and brought them on a journey of how it was discovered, they feel like they were there. They witnessed it. And that's a very powerful way of creating believability and introducing a new mechanism or a new technology. There's a TV show, I think it's called How It's Made or something like that, or How It Works. It's actually a really highly rated show, and people, they like that. They really get into the thing of learning how something was developed, how it was created. I think it's in the History Channel network or something like that. But and there's and speaking of the History Channel, there's so many shows which talk about the history of something, and people like that. They like to understand a concept fully. They feel they're in control of it. Now, what happens here is when the reader gets concept number one, and then they get concept number two, what's happening in their mind is there's like a soap opera. There's a dramatic sequence occurring where it's not even about the developer of the product anymore. There's two characters in this story. There's the new cause, which is a character. Once you give it a name, it becomes a character. It's another psychological thing that giving it a name does. It turns it into a character. And then there's this new mechanism, which is now the new hero of the story, and there's a war waging between these two. Okay, so it creates and opens the door to creating more drama in the copy. Now, when those two elements are created, these two concepts naturally add up in the reader's mind, where now they have one concept, which is, if I get this mechanism in my life, it will take care of this. So it's that one concept that the customer concludes himself, and that's always going to be the more powerful sale, because what we're looking for here, remember, is to make them feel it is their idea. If I keep interjecting the personality of the developer, then it's his word against my word, and I don't want to do that. I want to make it that it's all the word of the customer, not the developer. Okay, so I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to continue on.